All right. Hello, and welcome everyone. Many of you have been waiting for this day. We have counting down to this day. I know internally here we're really excited for the official launch of the paid speaker career launch. So welcome everyone. Again, I'm very much excited for this. Let me just remove our slides for a second because I really want to make sure that I introduce myself and get you guys excited for today's session because it's going to be a week long training on how to make sure to get you started on your speaker career this year. So, a lot to cover. In so little time. You imagine, I know 5 days sounds like a lot in today's lifetime, but there's so much I want to share with you over the next couple of days. And I really hope that you really take on board all the content, all the information, all the resources that we're going to share with you during this session. So, without further ado, again, a very warm welcome from me and the team. We have Ed and William. The entire team is on the thread, so definitely introduce yourself if you have any questions. Again, I'm going to kick off with some housekeeping details. If you need anything in support, questions, answers, feel free to just put on the chat feed. Of course, definitely let me know where you're coming in from, right? Because many of you are not only coming from different countries, different cities, but you also are coming from different experiences, right? Some of you have been doing speaking engagements, some of you are just getting started, some of you are like, hey, like I'm stuck. Like there's so many different levels on today's call because we have been assessing your profiles, we have been reviewing your work, we have literally been supporting all of your ventures by looking through all your profiles. Yes, we did look at your LinkedIn profiles, your social profiles. We did the work and due diligence to see what levels people were at on this call. And I could tell you, whoever you are, this is a great opportunity for you to get to your destination of becoming a paid public speaker consistently in 2024. If this is the goal that you want to have for this, please give me an amen on the chat. Tell me you're ready for this. Tell me you're excited for this. This is your goal. This is your aspiration. And we're going to turn this into reality ASAP for sure during these next couple of days. So without further ado, let's dive in. Let's kick in. I know more and more people are trickling into the conversation, but hey, you guys are here front and center. Let's get started. All right. So to begin, as stated before, this is the Paid Speaker Career Launch Lab. This is a free live 5-day training program. So for this entire week, every day, same time, same place, I'm coming to you right here from my office, 12 p.m. every single day. We're going to engage on this 5-day conversation to get you on more global stages around the world. Okay. So today, of course, we're going to kick off with positioning and then we're going to go through each part of this process. So by the end of this week, you're going to be ready to really truly launch with a step-by-step guide to launching a profitable paid speaking career in 2024. So welcome to my world. Really excited to engage with you. So with that said, why should I even be sharing this with you? Who am I to say that I'm going to teach you how to get paid speaking gigs? What's my background? What's my credibility? Because I know everyone on the internet is always pitching something, right? So let me tell you a little bit about my background and why I'm here. So a little bit about me, okay? First and foremost, if I'm going to teach you about how to get on global stages, I better have been on global stages before and still continuously do so. So I have spoken at over 360 different conferences to date. That doesn't even include small workshops or programs or private functions, but over 360 conferences and event programs to date. I have literally been in small rooms, big rooms, spoken in front of like 10 people, spoken in front of like probably the largest was like about like 40,000 people, right? In Malaysia. That was a crazy experience, right? So there has been a multitude of events that I have spoken in front of, and I could tell you from all those different experiences, I am tapping into the lessons, the feedback, the secrets, the strategies to get you to the same place, right? I've also been featured in over 124 different media outlets. So whether it's like mainstream media like Forbes, Inc. magazine, Black Enterprise, Essence magazine, or smaller blogs like regional blogs across Africa, the Caribbean, the United States, because I'm very global in the work that I do. I have been featured in a lot of different media outlets for the work that I do across my multiple businesses, but also the content that I share to empower the communities that I serve as well, right? I also have generated over $1.2 million for my speaker business over the past 5 years. That includes obviously speaking gigs, content that I sell, offline programs, workshops. So I'm also going to share with you how to monetize your speaking engagements, right? Beyond the stage. And I know day 5 is all about that. And some of you showed real excitement about going beyond the stage and monetizing your brand in that way. But I've done it, right? I've been there for over 10, 15 years now. So I've done a lot, right? And then, of course, one thing that's really unique, if you are looking for a coach to tell you how to really monetize your speaking engagement, get on the speaker circuit, there's not a lot of people who are doing this right now, but for the coaches who are in the world teaching them how to do public speaking, one thing that sets me apart from other people that you probably listened to in the past is the fact that I'm also an event organizer. So I have a business, multiple businesses actually, that runs multiple events around the world, right? Which is my company, the Global Startup Ecosystem. So I have the added perspective of not only being on the side of being a speaker, but I also have the added benefit of sharing with you from the event management side, the event booking side, to tell you what we look for speakers when we close speakers for our events, and how I've been able to leverage that knowledge and expertise to get more speaking engagement. So you're going to get both sides of the table, which is really unique for many of you who are trying to understand like what goes on in the decision-making process when it comes to getting booked for a speaking engagement. So our company has hosted over 400 events in the past 7 years that we've been in business. So we know what we're talking about also from the event booking side. I've also worked with over 90 different Fortune 500 companies, and that's no joke. We've worked with these companies both to sponsor our events, partner our events, host events, right? They've been my clients. Many of them, are my friends, because behind any of these institutions are people, right? So many of them I go out with, I party with. They've been a part of major milestones in my life. So I could tell you also from a personal experience how to work with major institutional networks, because I've been doing it for over a decade now. So I'm really proud of not only the experience I have working with these institutions, but also the depth of knowledge and friendships I have in these circles to really recommend to you certain profiles, right? And I've done all of this in my speaker career. I started on a farm. I'm a big fanatic of organic foods. So I've started a farm over the past couple of years. I've also been building a family. Yes, I know I look young, and I know there's so much that you could tell from my profile when you research me online, but I've had 4 kids. I've been on maternity leave 4 times. So you can imagine being able to monetize my brand through my public speaking content and taking a step out 4 times from the speaker circuit. That says a lot, right? It's for me to be able to say like, look, I'm out of commission for 3 months, 6 months. Last time for my 4th child, I actually was out of commission for about 8 months, right? And still generating revenue, still generating interest. And when I came back on the speaker circuit after being on maternity leave and a sabbatical for over 8 months, I dived right into multiple engagements just right out the gate, right? And so this is also for those of you, especially for our women participants on the call, for those of you who want to have more balance as well as you search in this pursuit of building a speaker career, because I've also experienced speaker burnout, and I'll talk about that later on over the course of the next couple of days. But what you don't want is to be successful and burned out, right? And really finding the right stages and being able to grow your brand, grow your speaker business, be able to create multiple streams of income, and then not be able to enjoy it with the people that you love most. And I know this narrative is spreading across the internet, being able to have flexibility, this and that. Look, I really mean it. Speaking from a wife, a mother of 4, and someone who's crazily involved in their family affairs and traveling, I will tell you that I'm speaking from experience and from a personal standpoint that it is very possible to do this and grow. It will take a little bit of hustle up front. I'm not going to lie to you. Many of you who know me personally, who worked with me before, went to school with me, worked with me, dealt with me, I'm a New Yorker at heart, right? So I hustle and I do the grind, and I will show you the back end of that grind, because a lot of people don't like to tell people how they hustle to get things. A lot of people want to allude and tell you, oh, it was easy, they just found me. Bullshit. Okay. And because I'm a New Yorker, I'm going to be saying things out my face very organically and naturally. But yes, I will call bullshit on it. It does take a little bit of hustle. It does take a little bit of pre-planning and structure and creating the right foundation, so that way you can enjoy it like I have been over the past couple of years, where I can go on maternity leave, I could go on sabbatical leave, I could literally let my speaker content and my brand monetize itself, right? So if you're here for that, if you're here for that lifestyle, if you're here for that growth, that transition in your life, please give me a shout out on the thread. Give me an yes on the thread so I can know who I'm talking to, that I'm speaking to the right people on this call. So that's a little bit about me, what I do, and why I'm here to give you the goods over the next couple of days. Okay. So with that said, one thing I also want to add, okay, because just because I'm good at speaking, just because I've been on the speaker circuit, just because I'm good at what I do and I've done it, doesn't mean I'm automatically the right person to teach it, right? And the one thing I will say is, just because someone's good at anything, right, whether it be an athlete, a singer, doesn't mean they know how to teach that. Let me take a step back and let you know that I've also been teaching this content for many years. Now, I'll be honest and say that this has been obviously a unique style of me doing a 5-day training. That's the first time I've done it in this way. But I have done webinars, boot camps, training sessions, workshops, right? I've done all different areas and arenas and spoke about being a public speaker in completely different ways and different aspects of being in the public speaker circle, from the entire life cycle, from how you start being a public speaker, how you get content, how you get booked, how you get noticed, how you do X, Y, and Z step by step. I have taught it. Okay. So that means that not only do I know how to do this, I've experienced being a public speaker, but I've also taught this for several years. So you're in a good space. You're in good hands when it comes to working with me, engaging with me, and being in my ecosystem when it comes to learning how to be a paid public speaker that builds a legacy and brand that speaks for you even before you enter certain rooms. If that's what you're going for, this is where we're at. Okay. So to crystallize that introduction, my name is Christina Tim. I am a serial entrepreneur. I'm a tech ecosystem builder. I'm really big in the tech space. I'm a mother, proud mother of 4 beautiful kids. I'm a wife. My partner in crime is my literally backbone. He's the one that supported me with all these endeavors that I've done over my career, right? And I have launched 5 revenue generating companies. If you Google me, you've seen the initiatives that I've done, whether it be being the founder of the Global Start ecosystem, the creator of the Haiti Tech Summit, or the creator of this program. I have done a lot of different things in different ways, from foundation to business to initiatives. So I've had a lot happen in the past couple of years, right? And so with that said, the accolades don't speak for me, to be honest with you. Hopefully you get my energy over the next couple of days, that I'm very fluid, I'm very flexible, I'm very open, I'm very raw, I'm very out there, right? And so I will tell you what you need to know, right? Because a lot of times I do find that a lot of people, they get stuck in their accolades and don't know how to give back, the strategies and insights that got them those accolades in the first place. I'm going to give it to you straight. Okay. So hopefully you're excited, and hopefully you introduce yourself to me on the thread. Please let me know who you are, where you're coming in from, rep where you're from, rep who you are, because we're going to get real comfortable and cozy over the next couple of days. Okay. So it's very, very important that we get to know each other, because I introduced myself to you, and over the next couple of years, I'm going to open up a little bit more, and get a little bit more vulnerable, because part of being a paid speaker means that you are going to undergo a lot of different highs and lows. And so while I share with you my highs and lows and the experiences that I have had and how I've overcome them and have come on top, I hope that you can also open up and be vulnerable in this safe space to share your challenges, share your journey, so we can make sure we help you navigate and come up on top as well. All right. So with that said, official welcome to the Paid Speaker Career Launch Lab 2024. You are a part of the inaugural group of people who's going to learn a step-by-step guide to launching a profitable paid speaker career in 2024. This session, this entire series, you're going to, start attracting lucrative speaking engagements, right? You're going to stop selling for free speaking engagements. For those of you who are already in the speaker circuit, but you haven't been able to convert your exposure to real paid gigs, we're going to stop that nonsense and really get you paid. And of course, help you, third, hit speaker fee revenue goals with less effort. Because I talk about this. Burnout is real. And in today's world where we're overstimulated and overwhelmed, it's really important that you have really good strategies and systems to help you still scale effectively without having to burn out your energy. Because I actually think the most precious commodity that you have is your time, your energy, and your mental health, right? Don't waste it putting it out there so hard, so hardcore, because I believe in hustling, but not hustling at the expense of your mental health. Okay. So I want to make sure that you understand that these 3 goals will be attributed to during this career launch. Okay. Now, let's talk about timing, okay? Because some of you, I don't know why many of you signed up. Some of you have shared with us via email, via DM. I mean, our team have been receiving the messages. So thank you for being vocal as soon as you signed up and told me your aspirations, why you're doing this. And one thing I want to give you some assurances on, because some of you might feel like, look, I'm going through this program because I know I need it, but you still have a little bit of doubts in the back of your mind. And I wanted to speak to some of that before we get into this, okay? I want to talk to you about your timing, okay? Because sometimes, in your career, you'll find different cross points in your career where you can learn a new skill or tap into a new opportunity or try something new, right? And I know for some of you, it might be scary. Some of you might be like, look, I try new things all the time. But this one comes a little bit different, okay? Because right now, the global events industry is projected to reach 2.1 trillion by 2032. And for those of you who are not into stats, I want to articulate how big this is, okay? Because since the pandemic, we have realized that people coming together is the freaking economy, okay? It's not just, people just, coming into office, like people convening in any capacity is an event. And many of these convening moments across industries requires speakers like you. And if that industry is growing at such an accelerated pace, more and more people, event organizers, are going to need you, right? So your timing right now is crazy that more and more events are happening. More and more institutions are hosting events because we need more community. So people are creating multiple events throughout the year to engage people. So this is great timing. If you are trying to make a decision to jump into the public speaker circuit properly, you are doing it at the right time. I promise you, especially in this economy. Great job in taking the leap of faith and say, like, look, my time is now. You should have started yesterday. The best time is today. You're doing it. So your timing is perfect. The second thing is, especially for my female influencers on this session, the profiling. If you haven't realized already, especially if you've been in multiple events in your career, and I know there's a lot of powerful women on this session. I know you've been to events. I know you scan the room. I know you see that there's a big imbalance in the room. Less than 17% of event speakers are women, right? So you go to an event and probably like one speaker is a female speaker to provide perspective. Probably one person, has that female angle in there or have that perspective. And then what's even worse, even events for female or for women or targeting women, less than 50% of the event audiences are also women, right? So the reality is event organizers are struggling. Let me repeat that again. They're struggling to find you. They want you. They want you to come. Okay. They're trying to find you. They're trying to get you booked. Okay. Now, some events who are good, less than 25%. Are you kidding me? 25% of the speaker lineup are women. Like, what age are we living in that we're in 2024 and less than 17 to 24% of events have female speakers on stage, which means that speaker lineup, you'll see this. Go on the websites, go to the top 10 events in your industry, whether you're in banking, whether you're in finance, whether you're in tech, whether you're in music, and you will see predominantly men, right? That tells you something. There's a gap. They're looking for female speakers. So for those of you who are like, look, the time is already perfect and they're looking for you. They're profiling women speakers every single day. And we'll talk about how to get visible so these event organizers can find you based on positioning. And then last but not least, the timing is right. You're the right person for the job. You're the right person for this opportunity. I want to speak to the calling, okay? Because many of you, when you receive the notification about this program, I'm sure you could sense the energy of where I was coming from, that this is not some like get rich quick scheme. This is not me just trying to hustle and tell you some other thing that you can do. You could tell that I was speaking from experience and say, like, look, like on a fundamental level, whether you don't know your end goal at the end of this, I know you know that public speaking, yeah, is probably the most powerful skill that you could cultivate, not only in your career, but in your life. Okay. Now, take it a step further and trying to become a professional public speaker, where you add that to your arsenal within your career. It's a very powerful gateway, breakthrough strategy to accelerate your career. Like I will tell you from experience, once I became a public speaker, I became an overnight success where I access so many different networks literally overnight, right? And let me explain why this is, especially right now. That if you are answering this calling, why it's important that you try to do this. Right now, back when I first started in the speaker circuit, a lot of times what you saw on stage was like athletes, celebrities, politicians, people who are like literally like mainstream individuals that everyone knows about, right? But now there's been a shift because a lot of these mainstream influencers have literally violated our trust over and over and over again. I think this is the year of revelation. I'm sure you're watching the news where you're seeing so many celebrities getting called out for nonsense, things that they're doing behind the scenes that wasn't true. The way they lied, the way they cheated, the way they dishonestly did so many things in the background that cultivated their brand for the past couple of years. People are sick and tired of the bullshit, right? And so right now, people are looking for possibility and hope in everyday people. You no longer need to be a celebrity to be in global stages. In fact, the more ordinary you are, the more extraordinary your impact. And let me repeat that again. The more ordinary you are, the more extraordinary impact. People now want to hear from everyday people doing extraordinary things, right? Literally, your lifestyle could be a blueprint for someone else who's trying to figure something out. You don't know the power you hold in your story today. And that's why I want you to answer that call. If you know that you've been through certain things in your life, that you've learned certain things in your life and your experiences, right? This is something that you could share with others, that you could give to others in the way that not only builds your credibility, builds your brand, but also builds a legacy that empowers other people. So answer that calling today and really hone in on this opportunity to become a professional speaker in a time where more and more people need your voice and your story on main stages. Okay. So with that said, the timing of this conversation, I'm not going to lie to you, it is really chaotic right now in economic. I know you feel this. I feel like all of our leaders are gaslighting us right now. They're telling us GDP is here. This is going great. You know, we're hitting good records here. This, that. They don't want to tell us point blank, simple, that literally the economy is in the shitter. Okay. Inflation is on an all-time high. You're struggling to keep up with basic everyday needs, right? The world has shifted, and it has not shifted in a positive direction, right? So right now, to get visibility amongst all the noise, amongst all the changes, you could be the breakthrough content creator, the content influencer, the person that will get on stage and help people navigate these times, because you may not have your whole life put together, but you figured something out, right? And you can help someone else figure it out too, right? Because there's real uncertainty ahead, right? And one thing that I always tell people, look at the shifts in society, culturally speaking. People are now ready to consume content. People are now ready to consume everyday people providing expertise and knowledge that really takes them from point A to point B, right? The fact that you even signed up to be on this session means that, look, some of you already know me, half of you already know me. So I've already proven my character and my credibility over the past couple weeks. So you signed up, you saw Christina's doing this. I'm going to sign up. Some of you probably never met me before, never engaged with me, heard about it, saw it on social. Maybe someone shared with you the link and you signed up because for some reason you realize, like, look, I need to learn from individuals who have been through the grapevine, who have done it. I don't want to listen to this mainstream speaker who is so disconnected. They can't tell me the nitty gritty of how to do X, Y, Z. But this girl right here, this guy right here, this woman right here, this man right here, this person could tell me exactly what they did. So the culture has shifted. Technology has made it easier for us to connect. Here we're connecting on a platform from all around the world to do that. And the industry, like I said, is looking for people like you. They're hungry, right? So thank you so much. I'm seeing a lot of great comments on the Fed. I'm watching them. They're giving me high energy. So thank you, right? So with that said, you're seeing that the industry is shifting, right? So you making your mark on the world today is easier. But at the same time, it's a little bit harder because more and more people are trying to make their mark, right? So some of you are aware of the things that I'm saying, but it's like, okay, how do I do it? I'm going to show you how to today. Okay. So let's get back to the basics. Today, for today's session, we're going to talk about positioning, because it's really important that in order for you to position yourself to attract paid let me be very clear, paid speaking engagements, not just any speaking engagements, but paid speaking engagements, you have to understand the speaker booking landscape. It has shifted, right? Some of you, maybe you've gotten public speaking gigs in the past, and maybe you've noticed that, you're not getting as much as you used to. It's because literally the landscape has really shifted, okay? So some of you need to understand the cultural landscape of public speaking right now and how to get booked. Some of you don't even have a position and statement to attract event organizers. And some of you, if you don't like, what's a value position and statement? If you're like little cuckoo in the head, or you don't even know what I'm talking about, don't worry, I got you during the rest of this call, okay? And then last but not least, some of you haven't even showcased on your social media profiles or any digital footprint that you're ready to get booked, right? So a lot of this, we're going to be able to address within 24 hours. All right. It's not hard. You always got to start at the baseline, but some of you don't know how to do it. So we're going to talk about that today. Now, before we dive in, many of you are aware that you're supposed to have your workbook. Okay. Now, you probably received your email. Check your email. You're going to receive your workbook. This workbook is going to be very helpful throughout this week's session. So please print it, use it, right? I have a ton of notes on this because in addition to my slides and my screen, I know my team is on the call to help answer questions. I mean, shout out to Adnan William, who's on the call to help answer any issues that you might have, any troubleshooting that's needed. They'll be able to help and navigate you throughout this entire week. But I also have notes, okay? I'm also like, as I'm going, I'm not only teaching you, but I'm also engaging with you organically live, right? And so I highly recommend that if you didn't print it, please print it, write it out. I'm very old school. I even have a black book, and I'll talk about that later on. But something about writing and taking notes with your hand and going back to old school, not just typing everything, works wonders, okay? So please print it out. If you didn't do it, just navigate it today. And on the speaker workbook, we're going to start with the preliminary guideline questions because I'm going to dive right into that right now to get you prepped in for this week's session. So if you're ready to kick off, please let me say, just comment ready before I start so I can know that everyone's with me. You got high energy, you got your water, you got your notes, you got your pen. Are we ready on the thread today? Let me hear where you're at. Like, put chat ready and let me know so we can get started and go straight to page 1 of your work because we're going to get started on that because we need to set your intentions and make sure that you're even ready for this conversation because some of you are not ready mentally, physically, emotionally. I need to make sure you got this down packed, okay? So on your first page on your workbook, we're going to set your intentions. And the title of that is Program Preparation Guiding Questions and Thoughts, okay? So obviously write down your name, your date, today's conversation. And then the first question I ask in the workbook, right, is why are you trying to break into public speaking? Okay. Now, look, one thing I'm going to ask of you guys is be humble. Okay. A lot of times, and this is something me going off script real quick. A lot of times I find that a lot of people, when they feel like, oh, this is too rudimentary, this is too basic, I'm at another level, I'm going to tap out. Trust me in the process as I walk you through the steps over the next couple of days, because clearly, if your stuff was going well, you would not be here, okay? This is me coming really blunt and at you. Let me be very clear. If everything was going right, you would not be here to try and learn the fundamentals so you could accelerate and go forward. And I would tell you, no matter how high you go in your career, you gotta always be ready to sometimes take a step back so you can launch forward. You gotta be like an arrow and hit the target every single time. As someone who's been on maternity leave several times, as someone who's switched careers several times, as someone who's been through depression, I have gone through a lot in my life. And I will tell you, I have learned how to humble myself, take a reset, reposition, reassess, reanalyze, and go back to the fundamentals. So that way, once I cover the fundamentals, I can accelerate forward. So I'm going to ask for your humility throughout this entire session because I'm going to give you a lot of content over the next couple of days. And I want to make sure that you're internalizing everything that I'm giving you so you're ready. Okay. So with that said, the first question I'm asking is, why are you trying to break into public speaking? Okay. You got to answer that question because some of you you might even discuss it. It might be a vain goal because I want to be on stage. I want to be seen. I want to be heard. Right. That is a goal that you need to write out, right? Because even if you feel like it's not an impact-related goal, maybe people won't applaud you for goal, this goal is internal to you. It does not have to be validated by anybody, okay? I want to make sure you understand that. No one needs to validate your goal to be trying to be on the public speaker circuit. This is your goal, your aspiration. Write it down so we can accomplish it, okay? The next thing I want to ask you is, because I can answer that question for you. Like, why do you want to become a public speaker? I've already shared with you that it's an amazing way to create immediate credibility. This is something that I talk about all the time. When you are a public speaker, you literally shortcut access to the very top, because you already position yourself as a thought leader by being a public speaker. So people automatically trust you, engage with you. You got the immediate fast track access to credibility. Very important. Also, becoming a public speaker means that you are not able to attract new career opportunities, which is amazing, because sometimes you might know that what you want to do in your life, but it's so amazing when you get inbound offerings and things that you never could even imagine. And this has happened to me on many occasions, where people pitch me brand deals, projects, partnerships that I've never even fathomed in my own personal imagination. Just because I'm on stages, I'm getting that inbound invitation, right, on a consistent basis. Obviously, you're going to be generating income passively, because you're going to be able to leverage your thought leadership to build multiple streams of income. It creates flexibility, right? And probably the biggest thing for me, I know I'm making an impact, right? My content is moving people's lives forward, period. That gets me emotional, because I know what I'm saying, how I say it, how I deliver it, the energy that I bring to the work that I do, it changes people's lives, right? And being a public speaker helps that, because you are literally moving people from a mental framework to another one in slow motion, but at a fast pace, right? So with that said, I want to now help you move past whatever challenge that is preventing you to get a breakthrough in the speaker circuit, because many of you are stuck somewhere, but we're all stuck at different points in the speaker life cycle. So I want to make sure I understand, what is your biggest challenge right now? You got to declare it so we could tackle it. Let me repeat that again. You got to declare what your challenge is so we could tackle it effectively. Okay. So what is your biggest challenge right now? Now, for some of you, let's walk through this. Put number 1 on the chat if your challenge right now is, I can't find any speaking gigs, period. I just can't even find one. Put on the chat number 1. Okay. Put that out. Put number 2 on the chat if I'm finding free gigs, I'm getting booked, but I can't get booked for paid gigs, and it's frustrating me right now, right? Put number 2 if you're at number 2. If that's the biggest challenge that you're facing right now, put number 2, right? You're getting the gigs, people are inviting you, you're getting the nice pictures, you're on stage, you're making an impact, but you're not getting the paid gigs, okay? Put number 3 if you have found a couple of paid gigs, right? So you got a little bit of a structure going on, but it's not consistent. You can't plan out and like quit your job tomorrow, quit your business tomorrow, and just live off your speaking gigs. You can't do that, right? Because you have not been able to book 3 months out, 6 months out, a year out in advance based on your speaking bookings, right? Give me a 3 on the chat if that's where you're at right now, okay? Give me a 4 if this is where you're at, where I'm getting consistent paid gigs, but I'm stuck in the same fee bracket, which means, let's say you start getting paid $2,500 a gig. For some reason, you can't break through to the 5K gigs, the 10K, and you're watching people who are mediocre in comparison to you are telling you, oh, I just got a 15K paid gig. I got a 20K paid gig. And you're just looking at them with the side eye like, how, right? What did you do, right? So you're trying to break to the next level, but still attracting the same type of speaker booking levels. Give me a 4 if that's where you're at right now. Okay. Give me a 5 if just wholeheartedly you're getting unpredictable random cycles. You're getting free gigs, then you get paid gigs, then you got momentum, and then it drops, and then you come back, you just can't manage, you're overwhelmed, you're tired, you're frustrated, you're just like, this whole speaker life is just too much, right? Because you've gotten all of the above at some point in your career over the past decade. I've been there before, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4 frustrations, and now it's just a hot mess. And you're just like, I just need help everywhere, okay? Like, if that's you, give me a 5 on the thread, okay? And guys, I hope you're looking at the responses on the thread, because this helps show you that you're not alone, right? A lot of people are at different stages in their career and trying to figure out how to navigate this. And give me a 6. Be honest. If like, look, I just don't know where to start, right? Like, I'm here right now to begin. Like, I need the start button. I need to like, look, get me on the circuit. Like, I don't even know about all these challenges. If I'm somewhere in the I need a start button, I need a go button, give me the green light, okay? Give me a 6 if that's where you're at, okay? All right. See someone like, all right. So this is important. And so I want you on your speaker workbook, if you printed it out, right? Circle 1. And the reason why I say circle 1, because A lot of you, when I do these type of training sessions, a lot of times people circle like, I got all 6. No. One of them is your biggest pain point. One of them is really irking the hell out of you. And the reason why it's irking you is because it's preventing you from getting you to the next stage of your career. Okay, this is the reason why we got to figure it out, and we got to tackle that one issue, right? Because once we touch that one issue, we are ready to go. Everything else is going to start to fall in place, right? So very, very important that you circle one, and we're going to touch on this throughout the entire week, but we got to declare the problem so we can tackle it. Can I get an amen? If we know we're with me here on this, we got to declare the problem to tackle it, okay? So with that said, I want you now to move to the next page of your workbook, okay? Where once we understand the challenge, now we know what we're going to focus on. So over the next couple of days, you know the level of public speaking you want to achieve. Now, keep in mind, we all want to get to the finish line. Not everyone has the same goals. I want to make that very clear. You are not any less of a person if you don't want to be a full public paid speaker where you do that full time. Some of you just want to be able to get consistent paid gigs on the side. Some of you just want a little bit of exposure. Some of you just want to test new industries. I've seen people say, look, I want to leverage public speaking so I could be able to go into new industries. All of us are coming with different goals, right? But you got to be able to also know where your challenge is so you could declare the right goal. So for some of you, if you look in your workbook, what level of public speaking are you trying to achieve? If you just want to start, and for the start position, option 1, you just want to start and build my personal brand and make some income from speaker fees, right? That is an okay goal to say that that's what I want for this year, right here and now. I just want to be able to start and build my personal brand and make some income from my speaker fees. That's completely fine. If that's your option 1, you want to start, give me a start, okay? If your goal is actually option 2, which is to scale, it's like, look, I want to go beyond just getting fees. I want to start to scale my personal brand and monetize my content both from speaker fees and from offstage offers. What that means is that you want to go beyond just making money from speaking engagements. You want to create content where it's making money for you. I'm at that level, and I will tell you during my maternity leave, and when I checked out from social media and I checked out from reality, that's what was getting me paid, the scale element. That was really, really important to me. And for some of you, it's like, look, that's the stage that you want to accomplish right now. That's where you want to get to. Let me know if you're at option 3, which is the sustainability factor. And this is a big one, right? Once you start to get, you've already started, you're already scaling. This is where you want to sustain my personal brand growth and create a full-time income and a legacy business. This is where you're like, look, all I want to do is this. I can have multiple businesses, but the front center of who I want to be is this. And to be honest with you, that's where I'm at right now, right? Where I want to create a legacy business. I want to be greater than, the Gary V's, the Tony Robbins, the Oprah Winfrey's. I want to, over the next couple of years, build a brand that represents opportunity, hope, inspiration. I want people, when they see me on stage, when they see me on virtual space, when they see me walk through a room, that I move the energy, I move the hype, I get people ready to go. That's what I'm at right now. I want to sustain, I want to bring life. I want to empower people to get to where they want to be in life. I want to get you to the next stage, right? So if that's where you want to be, option 3, let me know in the chat for you if you're at this point of sustainability, right? So with that said, state why, right? In the workbook, I tell you to pick the option where you want to be, where your goal is, and I told you to state why. You got to know your why, because when things get tough, because I'm going to tell you, as you build the speaker career business, and start to really go through the processes I'm going to share you, you're going to have days where you're just tired, where you're just off, where you're just a little bit depleted, right? But by knowing your why, I guarantee you're going to keep going because you know your end goal in mind and why you're trying to do this, okay? So that's where we're at. So now, with that said, once we clarify all these goals, now we know like for which part of this entire program that you're struggling with, so that we can leverage each component of this 5-day period to position yourself. Craft the talks that are going to get you booked. Have a system to get paid gigs. Create the package speaker fee that you desire so you could grow and really monetize and scale your brand, right? We're going to get you to that endpoint throughout this entire program. So with that said, now that we've done the preliminaries, we're going to speed through now through today's session, which is how you're going to understand the speaker landscape, okay? And one thing I will say is I already told you that the speaker landscape has shifted, okay? People has really changed. Like, things are a lot harder in a sense, like where it's easier to really stand out because of all the tools that we have in the digital space. It's also a lot harder to break through the noise because everyone, if you look at LinkedIn, look at social media, almost everyone's saying that they're a public speaker. So how do you stand out from all these different new influx of people who are trying to really compete for the same spaces that you're trying to enter in right now, right? And one of the biggest things that I've told people is like when I look at my journey into becoming a public speaker, a lot of things I've learned the hard way, right? Because I did a lot of things through trial and error. And my hope is that through this program, you don't repeat the same mistakes that I did in the past, right? And in my journey, I will tell you, I've experienced a lot of different things where, obviously, some people, because they know me as an entrepreneur for so long, a lot of people forget that I actually was working in the corporate space. I did really well. I got promoted 3 times within 2 years. I did extremely well. I quit and moved to Dubai. I did love my job, but I just realized it wasn't where I needed to be. Relocated to Dubai, and literally I launched my first company. And within 2 years, that company went viral. I made the Forbes list. And without realizing, because I was really passionate about this business, one thing I will say, to be a public speaker, you have to be a passionate person. You have to really care about the work that you're doing, the work that you talk about on stage. My speaker career kicked off. I started speaking at university. I started speaking on conferences. I started getting featured in media outlets. And one thing I would say is, when people are moved by your content, people will share your story. And we'll talk about that during tomorrow's session about the art of creating a story and a brand that attracts audiences to you. Because what makes you credible is not just the thought leadership, it's the story that makes people resonate with you, right? So that story was resonating with a lot of people, and I was spreading in a lot of different arenas. Obviously, I've been working with heads of states, billionaires, celebrities. To this day, I still work with a lot of high profile people. And a lot of the work and the content and the speaking engagements I was getting was associated with my identity. And this is something we're going to talk about tomorrow. We're talk about creating a signature talk. Like, what identities do you represent that will automatically almost give you the credibility to get booked, right? Because a lot of times we're chasing what looks like it's a big thought leadership topic today, but not leveraging, like, you automatically as a person have a list of profiling items that make people automatically want to book you, right? So for me, being a Black woman of color who is an influencer in entrepreneurship and tech, automatically, even if I'm, let's say, working in the agriculture space, by default, people are automatically going to book me because I'm a female. Maybe there's a talk about female entrepreneurship. Maybe there's a talk about being a Black woman in tech. Like, there's certain profile elements I have that automatically is going to get me booked. And so we'll talk about that during this week, how to identify the profiling elements that will get you immediately booked quickly. Okay. And so obviously, growing that brand, when the speaker circuit during that time has completely shifted. During that time, you didn't need all the collateral and the branding that you need today to break through to the speaker market. At that time, literally, like, I cringe at the PowerPoint presentations I was putting on stage, but my energy was still there, right? I haven't shifted in terms of my energy, but the PowerPoint presentation, my collateral was horrible. Right. But back then, the speaker landscape was completely different. Like, anyone could really break into the circuit in many different ways, because it was a novice thing where people were transitioning from celebrities and mainstream people being on stages to now getting the new rise of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship was a big deal when it kicked off in the 2013, 2014, 2015 era. Everyone wanted to hear the stories of entrepreneurs. Now things have shifted. Okay. And so with that said, I had to learn the new speaker landscape to start landing clients, because what you want to do is transition from being a speaker that get booked for conferences where you're speaking on stage, where now you're also getting booked clients who pay you to consistently speak throughout the year, every year for multiple years. That's where you want to transition to over time as a paid public speaker, because that's what helps you generate the bookings 3 months out, 6 months out, even a year out, so you could just chill and keep that organic pipeline of opportunity coming your way, right? And so to get to the point where you're like this, where you're on mainstream stages, where you're getting your thought leadership out there, you're getting opportunities, there's something that I wish I knew earlier on that would have got me paid gigs, because I started my career doing a ton of free gigs. If I knew this secret from head on, I would have been able to monetize my speaker career and my journey a lot earlier. You could see I'm a little bit like emotional about it, because, like, God damn, I wish there were people like me to tell you what I'm telling you today. Okay. So let me tell you what that looks like. A lot of times people think that the starting point, right, for really growing a public speaking career is from just speaking, right? The starting point is not from speaking, okay? The starting point is actually from positioning. Let me clarify, okay? Many of you think that if you do a bunch of free speaking engagements, that will help you get on the paid speaker circuit and get you the speaker career that you desire. That is false. That is wrong. Okay. I'm telling you this from experience. You could do 1,000 free speaking engagements. If you do not know how to position yourself, you will never get consistent paid gigs on the speaker circuit. If anything, you're hurting yourself, right? And you also burn out. I'm not saying don't take paid free gigs. I'll explain that throughout the course of this week, how to leverage free speaking engagements to accelerate your brand and accelerate your business income. But you need to understand that your starting point is not, again, from speaking, it's actually from positioning. And that positioning, what that does, once you got the positioning, then you can start preparation, right? And what I mean by preparation, being able to prepare yourself for public speaking engagements that gets you paid, okay? And a lot of you don't know how to position yourself. And I can tell you, when you guys registered for this program, I was like, because I love doing this, I was auditing people's profiles. I'm like, man, she could do this, she could do this. And like, literally, I could look at your profile and see all the things that you need to really position yourself properly, things that will take literally less than a day for you to shift, right? And so with that said, once you position yourself, right, and you prepare the right materials that showcase to people that you are a prepared public speaker, now you can play. Okay, now you get into the speaker circuit and get paid. Now you can actually really go out there and get paid on a consistent basis. Okay, so let's talk about the starting point. The starting point is step one, positioning. Please put on the chat feed. I want to make sure that you walk away. The biggest takeaway for today is positioning. Please, on the chat feed, put positioning. I want to make sure you guys are here with me. You're listening and you understand what I'm telling you. Positioning is very, very, very important. Okay, positioning. Now, how do you position? I'm going to tell you the secret. You position by crafting your value positioning statement. I just said it, and I'm going to explain this to you, because a value positioning statement is what you use to create a message that attracts the right audience that will book you, because it will help you to stand out of your zone of expertise. Now, what does that look like, right? When you have a value positioning statement that's clear, okay, that people can see front and center, you help break through the clutter of all the different speaker competitors that are in the market right now. Okay, people are able to say, oh, okay, she's the one we need. And this is why, because this is your positioning. You've positioned yourself for the market to identify you, for you to become more visible, for you to be more bookable. Okay, this is very, very important that you understand this this starting point. And if you go onto your workbook, I write out that, a value statement is a crucial part of standing out in a competitive market. Okay, it clearly states in one sentence, right, whose problem you're serving, right, and what you offer that audience as a solution and why you're doing it. And this is what a value statement looks like. Okay, I want you guys to work with me during this session and write this out for yourself. Okay, the structure of the value statement, right, is I help X, who do you serve, to do what do you do for them, because why do you do it? Okay, if you do not have this value statement, you are not ready to be paid for speaking engagements on a repeat. You're just not, because you have not articulated this to the public, right? How many of you before coming to the session had a public a positioning statement? Say yes or no on the chat feed. How many of you walking into this program knew your positioning statement? And if you didn't, I know a majority of you haven't. You are in for it, because you're going to see that once you craft this positioning statement, you're going to see that you are literally going to attract different type of engagements your way. Okay, so let me show you how to do this, and I'm going to ask you guys to take a stab at this and type in the chat your positioning statement, even if that positioning statement changes over time. As of today, we're going to talk about what is your positioning statement, because some of you kind of have an idea of who you want to serve and why you want to do it, right? So I'm going to use myself as an example, my speaker value statement right now. I help women, right? And I can be specific, maybe women entrepreneurs, to monetize their brands, personal brands, to create a flexible, fulfilled lifestyle. Boom. In that statement, for those of you who are in the session, if you are a female entrepreneur or a corporate influencer, I'm talking to you. You're like, okay, I want to work with Christine. How can I work more with Christine right now? Because I just told you who I want to work with, right? So are you following, guys? Do you see how that automatically tells you the magnet of who I want to speak to? And I tell you exactly what I do. I help you monetize your personal brand, right? So for those of you, okay, like she's talking to me and I actually need that right now, right? I want to monetize my personal brand, right? So now, if you are a female and you want to accomplish this goal, maybe you're struggling with that goal, right? Like she's the one to like tap into. I need to talk to her, right? And why do I do this for women? It's because I'm trying to help you create a flexible, fulfilled lifestyle. Clearly, I want to give you a lifestyle that makes you happy, right? Because clearly you can see my profile as someone who's has multiple titles of accolades and achievements while still balancing family, which is very, very important to me. You could clearly see that, like, wow, I want that as well. If anything, I want to go beyond that, right? She figured out a blueprint. How do I tap into that, right? So with that said, just with this value statement alone, I've declared to the audience, to the public, who I'm serving, what I'm providing them, and why I do it for them. Okay. And let me show you, because a lot of people tell you things. I want to show you how I visually do that. On my website, I clearly put it everywhere in my titles. Obviously, I'm a global speaker, I'm a tech entrepreneur, I'm a personal brand strategist, and I tell people straight up, I help women succeed in the digital space through my entrepreneurial career journey. So I'll tell you how I do it, right? I provide strategy, insight, and perspective on how to lead a successful career in a digital first world. Connect with me today. Right? So on my website, I clearly share with you what I'm trying to do, who I serve, why I serve them, and why I have it. So even this one, I added even more context to that value statement. And you'll find once you have your value statement, you will create all the content and the verbiage and the promotional material to get people to understand, yes, this is how I execute on that value proposition. Okay. And even on my social media feed, like, right, I have it right there, global motivational speaker. I talk about women in tech, personal branding. Like, I make it very clear that these subjects matter to me and this is whom I serve, right? So at the end of the day, if you look in your workbook, I want you to write out your value positioning statement, right? Because again, it's a crucial part of staying out in a competitive market, and it is the starting point. I wish someone told me, if I knew this as my starting point, again, in my career, I would have monetized so many speaking engagements that I cannot go back to. It's done. That chapter is done. I've missed the boat. It is what it is, right? But I am telling you right now, this is your starting point. This is what you need to do, right? This is the secret. Once you have that, then you could get into step 2. And a lot of times people get so caught up in branding themselves as public speakers, they don't know how to do that first step. Once you do that first step, then you can start creating your positioning collateral. Because once you have that positioning statement, now you can create the collateral to promote that, like, hey, this is what I do, this is how I function. And on your workbook, I share with you the one pager you need to create to start creating that promotional collateral. And that promotional collateral, ladies and gentlemen, it's a simple document. Let me know in the chat feed if you have this document, because a lot of you don't even have a speaker resume. You want to get booked as a paid speaker, but you need the credentials, okay? And that credential is a one pager, right? To get booked, you need to have a one pager promoting you as a professional speaker and showcasing your expertise and your experience, okay? So let me know in the chat feed if you have that speaker one pager. And again, don't worry. Tomorrow we'll talk about how to create that. During I have, there's so many different resources to help you walk through this. In my paid career accelerator program, we actually sit down with people. We go through their resumes, we go through their LinkedIn, and we walk them through how to create that one pager. It's something that really, really shocks people, that some of you don't even realize all the different expertise and skill sets you have to be able to create that speaker one pager. Okay. And so what that looks like is literally, this is the list of 10 items you need in your one pager. You need to have your photo headshot. You need to have your title, your tagline. Your tagline is like the 3 words you use to describe you. You saw it in my profile is public speaker, tech entrepreneur, global influencer, right? Your value statement. So going beyond your titles, what's the value that you're bringing to the table? Because if you notice, even during networking functions, when I go into a networking room, I no longer just tell them my title. I'm the founder and CEO of the Global Startup Ecosystem. I tell them, like, I help women, monetize their personal brand online, right? It resonates and triggers people a little bit differently when I say that, because now they want to tell me either A, they want that service or they want that access, or they know someone that needs that desperately, right? So by introducing yourself, even with a value statement, you'll see your networking conversations will shift entirely. People will remember you a lot more. Okay. And then, of course, you need to have a brief biography, and we will talk about this later on this week. But during the paid Speaker Accelerator program, we help you craft a biography that gets you booked, right? A biography that clearly talks about your career journey in a way that people want to learn from it. Because a lot of times we have bios that are boring, that doesn't resonate with people. We'll help you craft a bio that helps you get booked, right? Obviously, your speaker topics, you need to have the content leadership to get booked. You need to have a list of things, what makes you stand out, what makes you different. We talk about that later on this week. Traction, previous clients. If you've spoken at different places before, even if it was free, no one needs to know that your previous engagements are free. And if you didn't get any gigs before, for those of you who are just starting out, book yourself. Do a couple free engagements, record yourself, and put that out there that, hey, I got booked to speak in New York because you paid yourself, booked yourself to speak in New York. There's so many different ways to launch your speaker career, even if you're starting from ground zero, and I can show you how to do that. But the point is, you have to show some type of traction, okay? Testimonials and quotes are going to be quotes of what people have said about you. You have to have a speaker reel. In today's market, back then, you didn't need a speaker reel video. I will show you how to create a speaker reel with your phone. Very easy to do, right? And of course, contact information. You do need to have a website. Okay, I'm sorry, but you do need to have a website. You do need to have a professional email. You do need to have your socials optimized. And during the Paid Speaker Career Accelerator, we show you how to even create a basic landing page site where you could just buy a domain for less than $10 and go live within 24 hours. We show you how to do that because a lot of times people overcomplicate things that shouldn't be complicated, right? So again, when I tell you something, I got to show it to you, all right? I'm a person that like to show and tell. So I'm telling you this is what you need. Let me show you what it looks like. When I first got started, my Speaker One pager was honestly a Word document, right? So right here and now, many of you could create this one pager document. Right? It's not that hard. The list of items that I told you, put your photo, put the items, and do that. And then once you have that Word document, step 2 is now you could go to Canva and design it. Canva.com is a free tool. Anyone can use it. There's so many different templates. Prior to Canva, I was using Google Docs Google PowerPoint presentations to really craft and design my speaker profile this back in the day. Now you have so many different templates to use to create that Speaker One pager. Right? So really easy to do. And during the program, we walk you through how to create that. Okay. And of course, on my website, I also articulate, remember I told you on the website, I articulate all this different content spread throughout my website as well. Okay. So with that said, once you do that, okay, once you have that collateral, now that collateral you have privately, right? You need to display that somewhere on your website. But the most important starting point, I always tell people before the website, the best thing you can do right now is start with what you have for free, which is your social media profile. Okay, team, please share with them my speaker website because on the public speaker landing page link, because that will help them see what that looks like, especially my LinkedIn. Share with them my LinkedIn profile on the thread, please, team. Share that on the thread because I want to talk about social media. And I know we're almost running out of time, but I wanted to make sure that I cover this before we close out. So recognize that you have to have leverage a social media page where you have the most audience. So for me, my backup page is Facebook. Many of you are part of the Facebook groups. That will never go out of style. But I always tell people, if you really want to get the high level clients and get the high level professional visibility, LinkedIn by far is probably the best page to start with. Okay. And a lot of you do not know how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. Like I said, during the course of you guys registering, we looked at a lot of your LinkedIn profiles and was like, whoa, like there's so much that can be done here. And during our paid speaker career program, we actually audit your LinkedIn profile and your digital footprint and tell you our audit, like this is the things that you need to do to optimize your public speaker profile or create the visibility to get booked for speaking engagements. Okay. And the goal really, when I say optimization, is to turn your free LinkedIn profile into literally a lead magnet for opportunity, right? It's almost like turning your LinkedIn profile into a converting landing page for speaking engagement opportunities. So I'm telling you this, let me show you what it looks like, okay? Because I tell you and I show you, I tell you and I show you, okay? On my LinkedIn, you can see on my LinkedIn, I clearly, literally, LinkedIn is by far probably the best kept secret since sliced bread, right? The power of this one page has given me speaking engagements, clients, media pitches, book deals, awards, partners, venture opportunities. I mean, this free page has done a number for my career, okay? And the reason why I've leveraged this LinkedIn page, this free page so easily is that I optimize it for opportunity. You got to understand LinkedIn is also part of our search engine. So the better you optimize your profile, the easier it is for people to find you, book you, and connect with you online. And one thing that I found, a lot of people don't make it easy for people to find them, right? So one thing that I said, like, I even have my call to action links on social media. If, like, let me just go back here if I could find the social media screenshot, is, if you notice, like, I have booked me to speak, right? On my profile, I have it immediately. My call to action is booked me to speak, right? So people not only know that I'm a speaker, I'm a corporate trainer, I'm a serial entrepreneur, they know all the titles and my credibility. I immediately tell them, like, when you see my profile and you like what you see, your call to action is to book me to speak. So some of you don't even have the right call to action on your LinkedIn social media profile. So how do you know? And people almost forget that if you don't tell people what to do, they won't know what to do. Okay, so you have to be able to do that strategically on your social media profile so people know what to do. Okay, to book you wholeheartedly. Okay, and what that looks like, if you go in your workbook, you'll find that I give you the list of what you need to do to optimize your profile, right? You need to have a headline shot, photo. You need to have something where you're smiling, hero shot, right? You need to position your headline. You need to have your value statement. You need to customize your URL. Some of you have not customized your URL, so it's hard to find you, right? You need to change that so it's easy for you to be searchable, right? List out the speaker topics on profile. One thing that is really, really a secret that I'll give you, a bonus, is that I created a position on my LinkedIn profile that's public speaking, right? So I put public speaking as one of my business or position titles, right? Because that automatically has higher search ranking on it. And in that position, I have photos and videos of me speaking, my media assets, my one pager that people can download, link to my website landing page, everything that's there. And I always optimize my banner to promote me as a speaker and crystallize my brand as a public speaker. These things are the secrets to success with optimizing your LinkedIn profile. And you got to do it, right? You have to do this for people to find you. Okay. So listen, I know we covered a lot today. Okay. And some of you like, goodness gracious, this was a lot. And this was just day one. And we are just getting started. So if you are at this point in your workbook, you're going to find on the next page, take a couple notes, jot down your sentiments, your emotions, how you feel, and I'm going to walk you through what's going to come next, okay? But these are literally the preliminary steps that you need to position yourself properly for speaking engagement opportunities. And once you do these steps that we talked about today, you are literally setting yourself on the right course for speaker success to get booked and paid immediately. So what happens next? Once now we are clear on the position, you got homework, I'm going to want you to really go through the entire workbook that we did for session 1 today, so that way you're ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to talk about how to craft your signature talk and get booked immediately. Now, a lot of people don't do this, but I have a different teacher style. Let me prepare you for day 2 and then show you why tomorrow is going to be even a more crucial session that you sign up for and be prepared for, and come ready, live and ready to give me questions. I'm going to go into Q&A in a second, but this is the reason why tomorrow is going to be so crucial, okay? Once you clarify your position, we already talked about, now you're ready to prepare your profile collateral. We did that. We have your speaker one pager. You're promoting yourself on LinkedIn, on social. Now you have to create your product. And a lot of you get it confused. You think that you are the product. You, as like me, as Christina Timmons, product. No, I'm not the product. I'm the package, right? Your signature talk, your keynote talk, that is the product. And this one, once you understand the difference between you being the package versus you creating the product that gets you booked, your paid speaking engagements are going to come. And this is the second biggest mistake. I think I'm going to have a session where I share with you all the different mistakes I regretted in my speaker career, so you can understand that what I'm telling you right now, I'm giving you hot fire, okay? You need to understand the difference. You are not the product. Your content, your signature talk is the product that's going to get you booked. You are the package. You deliver the product, okay? This is the reason why, think about it. When you go to the store and you buy something, right? Let's say you got an iPhone, you have a Samsung phone, right? Both of them are telephones, right? But the thing is, they're packaged differently. You might pick this package over the, but which one has a better product, right? And so a lot of times you guys forget that, okay, we can have 10 different women speak on the same topic product, but maybe the packaging is different. So that might get you through the door and people pick you for the package because you look the part. But if your product sucks, you won't get rebooked. You won't get the paid gigs. You won't get the consistent cycle of paid speaking engagements. So you crafting a signature talk is very important, because what I see a lot of novices do, they speak out a lot of different random topics, or whatever topic they can find to get booked, they do it, right? Instead of honing their craft and providing their signature talk. So tomorrow, we're going to transition from positioning, now that we've positioned you as a speaker, to helping you create that signature talk. Okay, so over the next couple of days, it's going to be hot fire as we go day by day to build you up on what's next. Now, for many of you, it's a lot, right? And I want to take a moment to let you know that I am opening for the first time a paid speaker career accelerator, where I'm going to go in depth and teach you live how to do this. Because right now, over the next couple of days, I'm going to teach you how to do this at the fundamental level. But a lot of you need more time. You need several weeks to really implement this stuff. You need the templates, you need the collateral. You want me to like coach you through it. A lot of times I know, because of my energy, because like, Christine, can you walk me through, okay, in my case scenario, how do I do X? In my industry, how do I do Z? In this situation, how do I apply this? I'm getting this opportunity. How do I make sure it's paid, right? And so I'm pleased to share with you that I am launching a paid speaker career accelerator. And this paid speaker accelerator program is going to be a multi-week program. And I'm going to really give a lot of energy and time into this, because this one I am doing live. This is not a digital course where you just download and have access to. I'm going to be doing this thing live for several weeks for the first time, which is why I can only do it once. Okay, so here's why you should join, because it's going to be probably the only program online that will help you launch a public speaker career that pays from a perspective of a public speaker myself and a global events organizer. So I'm giving you both sides of the equation. Okay, here's what you're going to get when you join this program. Okay, you're going to be able to go live with me for 4 weeks, plain and simple. For 4 weeks, every single week, twice a week, we're going to go live. If you like what you experienced this today, we're going to go even deeper for 2 hours straight every single week, where I'm going to walk you through how to now, okay, this is what you do. Let's implement that. This is what you do. Let's implement this. I'm also going to be coaching you. And I'm going to be doing deep dives. I already told you I love auditing people's profiles, seeing what they do, seeing how they position themselves, seeing how to re-articulate and rebrand themselves. I will literally audit with our team. Our entire team are going to troubleshoot and go through your profile and see how to reposition your brand. Okay, so that way you are able to position yourself for success. Okay, so I'm going to coach you and do deep dives on your profile. Now, because I'm going to be doing individual coaching on people's profile, I cannot take a lot of people. It's going to be a small cohort. And like I said, this is my first time doing this, and I prefer a cohort of women. Very powerful women who are ready to take their profile and their career to the next level. If you're ready to do this, this is the time for you to engage with me. And of course, we're going to workshop through all of these things together. Obviously, you're going to have replay recording access to all the content for life. This content is always going to be updated, because the speaker landscape is constantly changing and shifting. So being able to have access to this material for life, where it's constantly being updated, is going to be a huge asset arsenal for you to have in your career. Now, keep in mind, because we're doing this in a cohort style, where we're doing this live, right, where we're going to be going through this week by week, stage by stage, on a consistent basis over the course of 4 weeks. Okay, we're going to be doing this live in June. Okay, we're going to do this so we can get ready for the second half of the year, right? I'm going to need you to understand that you're going to be doing this with a group of other women, where we're going to support each other. And one thing I would say, for those of you who never got booked before, I will tell you, when you get booked for speaking engagements, for conferences, usually they don't invite you back the next year, because they're always trying to shuffle their lineup of speakers. By doing this as a core, you're not going to have a circle of, I would say, speaker friends, right? Speaker partners in crime, who, like, when they get a gig, they'll tell you, okay, here's a speaker opportunity. Because anytime someone speaks on stage, they can recommend other speakers to speak at the next year's event or this next program's event for that organization. So imagine you have a cohort of multiple women, including myself, constantly not only telling you the databases for you to tap into to get speaking engagement, but also we're recommending each other through warm leads. That's what you're going to get through this cohort experience, because now we're recommending each other throughout the process. And not only are we recommending each other, we're helping you, right? We have the templates, we have the speaking agreements, we have so many templates to help you. But depending on the person in the cohort, they can tell you, look, in the Caribbean, that won't work. This is what's going to work. In Africa, that won't work. This is what's going to work. In New York, it's very different than California's speaker circuit. You're going to have that collective program experience, where you're not only going to be coached and trained by me directly live over the next couple of weeks. But you're also going to have that cohort of friends, and I call them speaker partners, to help you along your journey for life, right? Because people really build really great friendships through cohort experiences like this. And obviously, I'm going to provide you with the speaker scripts, the templates, and all the resources you need to be able to outreach and get booked immediately through engagements. But furthermore, like I said, right, this is going to be a great opportunity for you to grow. And one thing that I would say, if you book and sign up for this program by Tuesday the 5th, keep in mind, when I go to the public, when I do these programs, you guys are the only ones getting this content right now, okay? So this is privately being hosted amongst you guys only, right? So once I share this opportunity through my email list, and many of you guys know I have a six-figure email list. I have over 100,000 people in my email list, okay? Once I announce this to the public, the bonuses go away, but also the cost goes up, right? This entire program, for me to be walking through coach by coach, is valued at about $10,000, right? Because I'm literally, just for people to have a consulting session with me one-on-one, is a big deal, right? And so if you book by Tuesday, not only are you going to be able to get access to this program at such a great rate, which team, you can share the link on the thread so people could be able to get access to it, right? But we're gonna have a VIP bonus session this Saturday, okay? So at the end of this 5-day training on Saturday, I'm gonna help you prepare for the program, because the program kicks off in June, right? And so I'm gonna have you, during that time, you're gonna get a head start to other people who are gonna join the program, where I'm gonna tell you to submit your profile and materials, and I'm gonna review your content, right? Our entire team is going to go through all your content, all your profile information, and literally prepare you so that when you start the Paid Speaker Career Accelerator program, man, you're just already a head start, right? So that VIP bonus session is going to help you get ready for the program. Second, I already told you you're going to get half off the program. By booking at the rate today, you're getting the added benefit of not paying the full price of the program, which is priced at $5,000. Okay. And then last but not least, you're going to get the one-on-one coaching session with me, right? Where I'm going to map out your full speaker career launch plan. There's a reason why I'm doing this during the month of June. Okay. Because this program, if you complete this program, this 4-week program during the month of June, now you have the rest of the 6 months to execute and see your career journey shift within this year, right? Because it takes about 3 to 6 months to see the fruits of your labor of learning this content material. And guess what? An added bonus, post a program for 6 months, we're going to have monthly coaching mastermind sessions where we're going to be on you, holding you accountable to the goals you set forth in the program. So talk about, you're going to have the community, you're going to have me coaching you, and you're going to have a post program for 6 months to make sure that you end the year saying, like, I did it. I got paid speaking engagements. I'm ready to go. I'm on fire. I'm ready to go. So that's the opportunity that I present to you today. And I hope that you're able to capitalize on this opportunity and join me today and join the program, because this is a phenomenal opportunity to work with me for the first time in this way for the next couple of weeks, and launches in June. And so we have opened up privately only to you guys. Please do not share this with the public. Link and access to the Paid Speaker Career Accelerator program for me to help you implement everything that we're going to be covering this week. Okay. Because I know for a lot of you, this is great, right? I know what I'm giving you is hot fire. Some of you need more time to implement it, and you need it at speed, because a lot of this I'm showing you, I'm giving you the blueprint, but for some of you, it might take you a couple of weeks to implement it because you're going through trial and error of going through the blueprint that I'm teaching you this week. Some of you is like, look, I need to get this done immediately, right? So if you want the fast track to be able to implement this, I got you. Join in and let me know. If you have any questions, feel free to share on the chat. Feel free to DM us. We are ready and available to engage your team. Please share the email for anyone to email the account, hello@christineandtim.com, so that way we can be able to support you throughout the journey of getting into this program, because I know that this program is going to shift your life for sure. Okay. And beyond that, with that said, I'm going to transition to Q&A. I want to answer as many questions as possible, because I'm damn sure excited to answer all of your questions in today's session, because we covered a lot, guys. We covered a lot. Okay. So if you have any questions, now is the time. Again, the team's already shared with you access to the Paid Speaker Career Accelerator program for you to book and get all the full benefits and VIP and bonuses that I just shared with you at such a crazy rate, guys. Like literally a consulting session with me alone to customize your experience and customize your career journey. It's not possible, right? And many of you are aware I do not do consulting sessions anymore. right? And so this is a great opportunity to have that one-on-one experience and cohort experience, to have that community to get you going, to really get you to launch this career properly, quickly in this year. So with that said, enough of that. I already see some of you are booking to go because I'm seeing the notifications. So thank you for taking the leap of faith and joining the program. I'm so excited to welcome many of you on the program. And once you book, you will get a welcome email from the team. And we're gonna, as you're rolling in, we're gonna start asking you questions and getting you ready. Okay, so it's not something that we're gonna wait to the program to follow up. We're gonna start engaging with you immediately once you book. So for those of you who just book, you're gonna get a follow up today from me and the team to get you prepared. So thank you so much for those of you who are booked, and thank you so much for the feedback. Right, I'm really glad that a lot of you guys said, thank you for a great first session. Thank you for the value. I'm really appreciating that. This really means a lot. That you guys are getting a lot of love out of this. Thank you. Really appreciate the feedback. Someone just asked if there's a payment plan. Just DM the team, and team will let you know what we could do to get you in. Because again, it's a great opportunity and it's time sensitive. So definitely, thank you so much. So any questions on the thread? We are now opening for questions. Right? I'm loving the feedback that we got throughout the day. This was great, right? This was great. So any question on the call? A lot of great feedback, guys. Thank you so much. I'm really appreciating the amazing feedback that you guys are providing. It helps me to know that the content is helpful. Okay. Any questions? All right. Team, let me know. So kind of sift through the thread and just retype them at the bottom, so that way I can start answering these questions immediately. There was a lot of engagement on the call today. I'm really proud of you guys. You guys did a lot of great questions, comments, and feedback. You guys were hyped. I really love that you guys were hyped and ready during today's session. So it's hard to navigate. So team, please go through the questions, put them at the bottom, so that way I can literally just start answering them fire by fire and go through it. Okay, so let me answer some of your questions. All right, so question number one. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm seeing a lot of the loves and hearts. Thank you. So one of the questions is the program only going to be for women? Okay, so for my men in the room, listen, the content will serve you well regardless. You can join the program. I'm just saying, from the perspective of a female speaker, there's a lot of nuances and a lot of customizations that I'm going to be doing for the program that's meant for women. And so, like I said, if you want access to the content and you want access to training because you like me and how I teach and how I provide value, by all means, sign up. But I am really targeting for female entrepreneurs, female corporate professionals, female influencers, because again, as a mother, as a wife, as a female speaker, I could provide that vantage point, that things that people won't talk about publicly, I will say it. You guys can see I'm very candid. I will give that feedback. So hopefully that answered the question, okay? Again, thank you for the feedback, guys. Right now I'm going to the Q&A. What is the exact deliverables that, can you clarify that? What deliverables are you at? Okay, so what are the exact deliverables that come from the program? So the exact deliverables is, one, you'll be able to have all your collateral for sure. Okay, so throughout the program, one of the biggest, assets that you're going to walk out through is you're going to have your speaker proposal, your speaking agreements, and we'll go over this tomorrow. But things like your speaker proposal, your speaker agreements, your keynote message template structure, spreadsheets to track and book and access, speaking engagements. You're going to have access to databases to help you constantly find information, email scripts, right? All those templates are going to be given to you. But the deliverables is, one, you're going to be ready to go with your speaker launch kit, right? So you are going to be able to find speaking opportunities and be able to close them, right? Because you're going to have the content information and profile information to get booked. That's one. Second, you're going to be able to position yourself in the market, where we're going to share with you the targeting speaker circuits to target, because not every speaker circuit is the same. Some of you are targeting the wrong avenues for opportunities. We'll show you how to really find the opportunities that suit you best, so that we can get booked immediately. And then last but not least, probably the best deliverable out of the program is that you're going to be able to really create a sustainable business. We're going to give you all the templates and content that we use to manage, like literally to R&D, find speaking engagements, manage it, and do the sales process to close and book. So essentially, you're going to be creating a business out of your personal brand, simply and critically, to really accelerate your brand properly in 2024. That is huge to get out of the program, especially with what we're asking for the introductory rate. And the reason why we're giving such a great introductory rate is simply because this is the first time I'm doing it in this format, live like this. So you guys are literally, the cohort is going to get the most out of me, right? Because I'm going to be doing it for the first time in this manner. So you're going to get a lot of feedback, a lot of, coaching, a lot of hands-on learning. So that is the great deliverables that you're going to get. The next question I'm seeing is about the payment plan option. DM the team. We'll let you know what is possible. Definitely, it could be a payment plan option. If you feel like, look, the timing is right, you want to jump on this, you don't want to lose out on this opportunity, DM the team at hello@christinaandteam.com, and Ed and I will coordinate with you to figure out the best way forward to have you. So great question on that. Is the speaker positioning a package? So someone just asked, is speaker positioning a package? No, speaker positioning is your value statement, right? Going back to the content that we discussed today, when you position your statement, you're saying that this is who I am, this is what I provide a value, and this is why I'm doing it, right? So it's your value, it's your value statement, the value you're doing. The package is how you promote that. Do you promote that through your speaking engagements? Do you have a podcast? Do you have a YouTube channel? Like, packaging comes in all different forms through your website and stuff like that. And we'll talk about the packaging on day 3, I believe, like how to package yourself as a paid public speaker. But positioning is the starting point to just clearly state to people, even if you didn't have all the bells and whistles of a website, a one pager, or anything of the above, that positioning speaker statement could get you booked because you're clearly telling people what you do and what you offer. Okay. Thank you so much for the feedback. I really appreciate it, guys. I'm still reading this. Someone said, I have an assistant who is working with me. Will they be able to sit in? Absolutely. So for those of you who want to get into the paid speaker career accelerator, if you have an assistant or a VA or a team member, please have them join the program, because a lot of the, especially the hustle work, a speaker booking and finding an R&D, it's great to have a virtual assistant. And by the way, during the accelerator program, we talk about how to optimize your team or get a virtual assistant to help you accelerate your speaker bookings within 30 days. So that's even part of, thank you for asking the question, that's even part of the program where we share with you how to leverage assistant to accelerate your booking. So please, if you do have team members, we will most certainly give them access to the program, so that way you are optimized through the program so they can help you execute on what you need to do. Okay. The next question is from Anne. How do you want the worksheet presented? Online attachment, how soon? So the worksheet, I need you to pretty much construct it. And during the next session, I'm going to ask you questions, and we're going to have sharing feedback. So usually I have Q&A like this. And after the Q&A, I do another 15, 20 minutes where I ask people to share the answers to their workbook sessions, and I coach you through and I give you responses. So during this week, you'll see that I will start responding to a lot of your questions. So obviously this is a day 1. Some of you didn't get to redo the pre-work assignments for today's session, which is okay. I will go over it tomorrow, session 1 and 2, where I'll ask you during the post the Q&A, guys, let's start answering the questions. Tell me what you answered to this, and I will let you go live and ask me questions, and we'll go feedback. I'm going to coach you through that throughout this week. So definitely an opportunity for you to do that. So do the work, not just because you're going to get feedback from me, but it's good for you to walk through the process. So that way at the end of this week, you're ready to go and you feel like you really moved a couple of steps ahead. Okay. Thank you so much for the feedback. I'm glad that you recognize the value for the program. Yes, a lot of people are asking about the payment plan. Yes, there is one. Just DM the team at hello@christinaandtim.com. We'll be able to tell you a lot more about how to get into the paid speaker career accelerator based on where you're at right now. Okay, so these are all the questions that I'm seeing right now. I'm not sure if there are any last call for questions, but like I said, NNM is sharing like a huge thank you to all of you who joined today. Thank you so much on behalf of the team. It's really great having you guys. See you guys excited. Yes, see you tomorrow. So you'll definitely get the calendar invite because once you register for the full program, so you'll get a calendar invite for tomorrow. If you love today, I already told you tomorrow we're going to be putting in work. So be ready. Please print out the workbook. For those of you who want to join me deep dive, if you love today, tap into the Paid Career Accelerator program. I will be joining you for a couple more weeks, even beyond this program. It's definitely going to light your career on fire in the best way possible. So with that said, thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. It was really a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. Be ready to do the work. And thank you, and have a pleasant day. Bye, everyone.